What's up, creative community? Once again, this is Lorenzo from the COACHMC studio. And this is the place where we'll help you guys from the creative community to shape unique behavior deliveries and to get recognized in the audition room. And today, I got a wonderful, powerful guest on the show, Mattea Cavic, out of Berlin right now. She was born in Vienna. She's an actress, a singer, a dancer, and a certified Chubbuck Acting Coach based in Berlin. We have so much to talk about our craft. She's been all over the globe shooting many interesting and different projects. And I'm sure her expertise, her knowledge, her insider tips can be very, very precious for you guys, because we want to talk about the Chubbuck technique, about her wonderful craft, and about a wonderful performer that she is. And I think she can add a lot of value to our creative community. So let's welcome her with a warm applause. Thank you so much for being here, Mattea. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Tell me, where did this all come from? This natural power of yours of performing, of singing and dancing. When did you feel this spark for the very first time in your life?
Well, to be honest, it started when I was 4 years old. In my mind, it popped up that I had to be a clown. So somehow being a clown transferred to being an actress, and that's what I'm doing ever since. I come from the classical training of drama school. Then I went working at theaters and stuff, and somehow I really felt that something was missing, and I couldn't really explain what it was, but somehow it came to me eventually, and I came across the book of IVANA CHUBBUck, who is an acting coach, Hollywood coach. She's like coaching all these great actors from Hollywood, like Brad Pitt, Charlize Theron, Halle Berry, you can name anyone.
She worked with them. Legendary Halle Berry thank you speech at the awards, at the Oscar Awards, which she said, actually, thank you to IVANA CHUBBUck for helping out with monsters, right? Not monsters.
Yeah, that was really great. Yeah. So I read the book and I immediately clicked. I was like, okay, this is what I needed. And then I looked her up and I saw she's giving a workshop in Berlin. I went there, I booked a ticket to go there, be an observer. I really liked the way how she coached. I liked the technique. And then I asked her if I could join her masterclass in Los Angeles. And she invited me over. I moved there for a couple of months. I got to know all these things about what a studio, an acting studio actually is, because in Germany, we don't have that kind of thing. No. So I really fell in love with the technique. I find it awesome, great, very powerful, very proactive, very nice to adjust and really easily to quickly adapt to it. Yes. The idea popped in my head. I was like, we need this in Germany. We need this kind of studio, acting studio. We need this technique in Germany. And so I asked her if I could be trained as a teacher for her technique. She trained me as a teacher, and I brought the technique, or more or less like the acting studio for the Chubbuck Technique, to Germany and founded my own acting studio, the Chubbuck Studio Berlin, in Berlin. So, and that's where I am now.
Legendary, legendary. That's what we like to hear at the COACHMC studio. Truthfully, you're one of a hell of an example how people can really make something out of themselves with their own instruments, with their sheer willpower, with their passion, with the pursuit of creating great art. And that's what you did. And you weren't kind of preconceiving any plan, like seeing you and talking to you. I mean, you strike me as a very intuitive, very, kind of extrovert, like impulsive person. So there wasn't like a plan to open this up when you moved to LA just to take over class. You were just invested in her technique. You were just exciting of discovering something new, of exploring something else, because you felt that something was missing. And then over the time, there was this evolution coming up and you thought about, hey, you know what? This is actually missing. And I'm always telling, good business starts there where you find a solution to a problem. If you find a solution to something that's missing, you got a business. And that's what you did. And that's so beautiful. So congrats to you, and congrats to your spirit and to your courage. Tell me, like, was this a hard move for you to say, all right, let's move to LA. Let's see what, what the industry top and lead has to offer. And let's see if I can compete with that.
First of all, I'm very adventurous, so I go for it. So I was excited, and I was in LA before and I loved it. So it was easy. I knew some people there. So that was, for the start, that was good. I was very excited, but of course, knowing I will be there, like the city of actors, like
It's the
everyone
mecca, right? It's there.
yes,
It's like,
it's crazy. So I thought, okay, I'll jump into hell, acting hell, because competition is like at the peak.
all over the place.
But to be honest, I was really surprised because being there in the studio the first time ever, to be honest, before in Germany and also Austria, I experienced a whole other dynamic between actors. There was a lot of like bad competition, like
Yes.
really jealousy and stuff.
Yeah.
In LA, it was
Oh,
different.
yeah.
LA
It's
really
tolerant.
taught me to embrace everyone else and be like very supportive, because their way of thinking is if somebody books a job and is great, then this is a motivation for myself, because I can do the same. I can be the same great actor. I can book the same great jobs if I do the right work, if I stick to my dream and go for it. They're very, very supportive. And that was something I also wanted to bring to Germany, because I think that's the only way how you really can be great. If you really see a goal and don't mind others, but like see them as role models for achieving the same thing with the same hard work, everything is possible. You know, the American
100%.
dream, that actually is something good, because it
Yes.
really gets you working,
And
and
it's
that makes you
true.
great.
It really works. I mean, the
Yes.
American dream, in a way, we can call it the American dream. It's the passionate dream. It's the dream about ourselves, if we want to call it another way. It really works. And I totally 100% agree. I mean, the funny thing is, we started the COACHMC endeavor like over 10 years ago. And we wrote to several acting schools all over the globe, to Europe, to Austria, to Germany, of course, as well. And then, of course, also to the United States and to LA. And we wrote just to the best schools out there. And sure enough, only people from LA answered. Only people from LA, the best acting schools from LA said, well, you know what, just come over as a guest speaker. Yeah, sure. They were the only one who were supportive, who were believing in our mission, who were kind of entrusting us with being professional enough to you appear there as guest speakers. Over here in Europe, they had all the tendency to like, oh, what is this? You know, kind of a bad, arrogant kind of demeanor. Like you're saying, and I felt exactly the same way. In LA, if you get into the room, everybody's supportive. Of course, there are exceptions to all the regularities, but usually if you get in there, people are supportive. They see themselves as part of one mission, one boat. We are all sailors on this great Titanic. And here it's like everybody's like on his little canoe, right? Everybody's like paddling for himself. No, get the hell away from me. And it's not a proactive kind of environment where you kind of feel to where it can blossom up. And like you, I also embraced this momentum of generosity. I wanted to bring this over to Europe and share this type of energy with the people over here and let them know that there is another way to succeed. But tell me, just to get to the beginnings a little bit, because this is funny, we have another parallel. I grew up also in a circus family, and I was educated there. I was really bad. Because the circus school was Dimitri back then in Germany was really like a big thing. They were out of Bulgaria, coming out of the gypsy roots. They could do anything in there, like clowns, jugglers. They could do crazy stuff. And I was fascinated by circus life and clowns life and juggling and all that, because I feel that there is like such a pure spirit and a way of appearing in a circus and an atrium and attend and show people just who you are, right? So is this part of your performing love? Because going through your material there, I see so many facets of you, but I always kind of feel that passion, that love.
I never really thought about it. What I really find fascinating is how or why people actually laugh, and how hard or the way you can make people laugh. That's why I somehow wanted to be a clown, I guess. Also, that is something that really interests me for now. Like humor, how do you define humor? Is it really a mentality thing? What is like the good humor that really catches a lot of people? Like coming back to your question about being present in the stage or whatever. Of course, I don't know. It's like a nature. I believe, like, if you ask actors in specific, why are you an actor? Like, everyone has this feeling that nobody really can describe, I guess. It's like they try to, like, everyone has their own lines that they will say, well, I like to play different roles or whatever, or I like to be on stage or whatever.
Sure.
But there is something that nobody really can describe. And I think that's like the actor's heart or whatever that makes like, if you have this ambition to go for and really become an actor, it's like, you can't describe it. It's just there. You have a need to be there and like act or like create or whatever.
I feel that many actors kind of felt like you, and at a certain point I felt the same. Like at a certain stage you feel like, wait a second, something is missing. And many misunderstand or misinterpret this as, well, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe this is just not my job, or maybe I want to live another life. It's just an indicator that you should add something else to it in order to be complete. And you kind of figured out for yourself, oh, right, maybe I need another training, maybe I need another instrument, and then I can make this even better, right? Instead of bailing, instead of quitting, instead of leaving the culture, maybe it's about adding something else to the culture. So I feel everybody feels that spark, but at a certain point, there's like this crossroad where we need to go a step further, where a lot of people kind of make that step backwards instead.
Also, there is a lot of fear. Like you have this huge fear of not succeeding. And I think the older you get, the more the fear gets, you know. But absolutely right. I would agree totally that everyone knows this feeling of not like being stuck or something. And then adding something or trying something new or learning something really can help to get out of this being stuck situation. Where do you choose to put your energy? Is it like the negativity? Is it like competition, focusing on others, focusing on what you're not able to do, the fear? Or is it like proactive, thinking of new ways, thinking of what is my goal? How do I achieve that? I believe like really, really important in any job or whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
Is really focusing on where do I want to put all my energy into.
You have to decide whether you go for fear or love, for passion or for being, scared of something.
Yeah.
Yes. Will there be opposition sometimes? Yes. Will there be sometimes adversities? Yes. Obstacles? Yeah, of course. But guess what? If you really love something, I mean, think about Thomas Alva Edison. He kind of filed for 3,600 patents for the light bulb, and not one worked except one. So sometimes you have to, overcome those obstacles if you really want to show that you are invested in something for real and you believe in it till you get your breakthrough. And once you get your breakthrough, once you get your patent admitted and you sell that thing, you have a product. And once you have a product, you can run with it. So you have to believe. And what makes you happy, pursue that. It makes no sense to go in a certain direction to please somebody and then be shitty about it all the times, right?
Absolutely.
There are a lot of very interesting things about your life and how you got to the point that you are right now. And I just invite people from the creative community to check out your character and to create connections if they're interested in your work or your services. But the Chubbuck technique, it's a special technique. It's a very specific technique. It works with, we don't want to go too much into that because that's part of your coaching method and about your lessons, and people should, legitimately pay for that. But can you kind of break down like what the 3 most interesting things are and why people should at least give it a try? And once they're brilliant, come over to your studio.
Well, what really is great about this technique is that it's based on human behavior. So you really have all these scientists-based facts about psychology and how human really are. So it's not like nonsense or like something esoteric or something. So it really is based on science. What really is great about it is that you really achieve always for a goal that you're always winning. So that makes it so great to be part and like adjust it to your acting because it's fun. It's fun to achieve a goal that you're actually getting. And it creates human behavior that is super fun, super great to watch. It's very authentic. And so I believe it's not one of these techniques where after playing a scene, you're heartbroken and you need like a week to recover or something. Or in preparation, you need I don't know, days and weeks to prepare for that big scene.
Right.
It's really easy to adjust and also easy to like go afterwards. You do your job, you get very easily, quickly into a scene and like have really authentic human behavior, and then also let it go, and you can go home and you feel great and you don't have to suffer from it and go see a therapist every day because you can live otherwise. So
no, I totally agree. And I think the reason you don't need to kind of consult the shrink every day is because it's not based on ego. You deconstruct the ego totally and you give it up for completing the mission. You switch the attention to the outwards position, not so much on me, but you're still following your intentions. And I think that's very powerful. That's a great combination right there.
What you really lose is like the acting ego.
Don't lose your intention and your persona, because of course we are egocentric. Otherwise, acting wouldn't make any sense. But the great thing is that you're not so centered about the persona. It's about the character that kind of entertains this ecosystem, right? This artificial ecosystem. And that's what I find so powerful about it, because you don't get hurt that much.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to kind of let it go afterwards, I feel.
You achieve a goal for your character, but also for your personal life. That's the healing part of it, the thing where it's easy to let it go, because you fight in a scene for a goal for your character, but also for yourself. And you achieve it at the end. So you're getting home and they're like, yeah, I done it. I achieved my goal. I achieved it for the character, but also for myself. And that's what it makes it so easy to, let it go afterwards. Yes.
It's like you said, it's human behavior. And that's so nice.
Yes.
We can admit that, with these type of keys, we can admit that we always compete. Let's be honest about that. We compete against time, against our mirror, against ourselves from yesterday. We always compete. And it's okay. If we admit that and we adjust to that, certainly things become easier. And it's nice to achieve something, to have that, and then just to let it go. It's like, okay, I've done that. But it's not identifying with the success. It's identifying with the work.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's the beautiful part about it. Because I think, like you said, there are many techniques out there that are powerful, but it's identifying with the character too much. And now you become so invested with this that I see sometimes, the arguing on set and the problems that kind of some of those techniques actually create. And they create more mess than solutions. It's just no good, right? It's like, well, what do you want to tell me? Just perform, have fun, enjoy your goals and your rewards, and then say thank you and go home. It's all good, right? We're all part of this universe. Man, it's very interesting. And let's say you get a student from like a regular acting educational background. You work on a monologue, or you work on a mindset first, or you kind of try to implement the technique, or you just give her the book first, or what's usually your procedure?
Well, in the Chubbuck Studio Berlin, we have different classes. We have the crash course, which is like a 2 days intense class where people with no background of Chubbuck can attend. Also, people who even just started acting can attend. Right. So it's like from very professional people who have like 20 years of experience to people who just started. Everyone can be part of the crash course, because it really is for everyone. And you learn in the crash course the technique, the basis of the technique. And then afterwards, you can start in the studio course, in a studio class, which is based on the acting studio thing that comes from America. So where you have like this gym for actors to train every week constantly, but it's very adjustable to daily work, because you're not always able to train every week because you are working, you have to shoot, or you have to work. And especially for like working actors, it's very useful because they can drop in and out of class every time. So there's no problem. And then there we were focusing on scene work. So we're adjusting the technique to scenes to really get into practice and like get to practice the technique with scene work. And then I have also privates where people book me for helping them with like casting preparation or shooting preparation, or also theater preparation. Really depends on what they want to work on. So we have like, I'm doing everything. So those 3 classes or
Right.
3 courses. That is how we work in the Chubbuck Studio Berlin.
Very cool. You are so loaded with, creative, critical, spontaneous mass. And then you take this superstructure like the Chubbuck technique, and both, yin and yangs, they kind of work together. So you have this impulsive core that is very chaotic and disruptive, but you kind of let it work in this very stable Chubbuck environment. I think that's kind of a winning team there, right?
Hopefully. I always tell people
like
I have my Balkan energy, but also my German way of structuring things where
Crazy.
I actually have no idea where it comes from because I'm not German at all. My parents are both from the Balkans, but yeah, this, I guess, somehow combined, I have both sides. So yeah, let's hope for it being a winning team. I don't know.
Yeah, it is for sure a winning team. That's why, traveling is so precious. I always advise my clients, just go out of your home, just go out of your comfort zone. Make even a little tour to practice your speech, your monologue, your text, your lines, your sides, your addition. Don't just stay at home in your comfortable zone. Get something else into your system. Perceive something else. Perceive nature, people, churches, cemeteries. Go out and see what's out there. Right? Life is full of so many different impressions and beautiful expressions, and you can only grow from that. This travel, this quest of yours, coming from the Balkan over to LA and now being in Berlin, traveling over all these cities, getting all these different impressions, all these different cultures into your system. That's a winning combination. You got so many reference points, so many patterns upon to reflect, and that's where the smartness of the play comes from. Do that, guys. Creative community out there. When you got new lines, new text, make yourself acquainted with something new. Pop something in that is completely different.
And also, what I always see is people working in theater or in the creative industry. It's like a bubble. They're always in this bubble. So I believe you have to go out because we're actors. We have to go and see the world and live also to really be able to tell stories. If you're staying in this bubble, we only can tell stories about the bubble.
Right.
So go out there, travel, talk to people who are doing different stuff than you're doing. And so I'm always telling people, please go outside, live life, live life. Of course.
Fun. I can't really think of a better ending. Maybe you got something interesting coming up, different projects you want to talk about in the near future. Please be our guest. Come back to the COACHMC studio and tell us about your new ideas, new experiences, and new projects. We're always curious about following up what our collaborators all over the globe are doing right now. Thank you so much for being on the show, Mattea. It's been a blast, and I think it's been very valuable for our creative community.
Thank you very, very much for having me. Looking forward to being back if I have something new to tell, of course.
I might suggest that the percentage of you stumbling into something new is pretty high, so that there will be surely some material to talk about in the near future. Make sure to check out Mattea Cavic's account, follow her on TikTok, on Instagram, and book a session. If you happen to be in Berlin, if there's a monologue coming up that needs an extra spice, if you're interested in the Chubbuck technique, make sure to visit her courses and her classes and contact her. We'll make sure to include all the links. Also, if you have anything on your mind, please let me know in the comment section below. If you want to work with the COACHMC studio, got an interesting project, a show reel coming up, something spiceful that needs a new ingredient, make sure to contact me. See you next time with the next Talks on Acting, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell so you get all the notifications when we grind out the new video. See you next time, guys, with the next Talks on Acting. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.